Glass Onion is the second installment in the excellent Knives Out saga. Rian Johnson returns to write and direct this movie, still sitting as one of the most polarizing directors in Hollywood right now, because people are apparently still pissed off about The Last Jedi. And Daniel Craig is back as the greatest detective alive, and he has a whole new ensemble to play with, composed of Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Kathryn, Hahn, Janelle, Monae, my dude Leslie Odom Jr., among others. And this is centered around tech billionaire Miles Braun, played by Edward Norton. He invites his group of snooty friends for a getaway on his private Greek island centered around this gigantic house which they dub Glass Onion. And when one of the guests at this party turns up dead, Detective Benoit Blanc, once again played by Daniel Craig, is put on the case. If you saw my review for the initial Knives Out movie, you know I love it. You know that I really respect it for flipping the whodunit genre on its head. And damn me if I didn't say that Rian Johnson has done it again. He has crafted such a compelling mystery. It's centered around a big, gigantic group of friends who are pretty much latching onto Edward Norton's fame. And as is the case with a lot of mysteries like this, there's deception, there's plot twists, there are fake identities aplenty, and there's a lot of fun to be had with Glass Onion. I could not help but have a gigantic smile on my face. This movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long. This flew by, though. Just because Rian Johnson is so damn good and inventive. His writing is so top-notch in Glass Onion. The way this mystery bobs and weaves and how unpredictable it is, this is something that I really, really respect about these movies. They always keep you guessing. Like, I was sitting there pretty much thinking I had this mystery figured out. Like, okay, this group of people was involved in this crime, and this is where we're gonna go with this. But then the movie takes a sharp left turn, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, what's going on here? Maybe this person was involved. There was even a stage where I thought Detective Benoit Blanc himself was behind the crime. That should tell you how effective this movie is in establishing these relationships, the connections that they all share, and then just seeing where the tension builds from here. Masterful. Speaking of masterful, Daniel Craig once again steals the entire movie. I still cannot get over that this voice is coming out of the latest James Bond. And when we first meet him in Glass Onion, he is so down in the dumps and depressed about life and how it's going for him. But then when he's put on another case like this one, man, his eyes just light up, and he is just so on it. The fact that Daniel Craig is able to rattle off so many pieces of dialogue at such a fast pace, that's a testament to that man's talent and his poise. And Daniel Craig really is turning into one of my favorite actors working right now. Absolutely loved him in this movie. As I did with Edward Norton, who plays the typical Edward Norton asshole type character. But damn was he entertaining to watch. All these actors certainly came to play. Kathryn Hahn is really, really great in this, in a role very different from Agatha Harkness, I'll tell you. My dude Leslie Odom Jr. showing up in a great role with some really meaty character work in his own right. Dave Bautista is in this movie as pretty much a loose cannon, and I think he plays that loose cannon part really well. I think aside from Daniel Craig, Janelle Monae is the big scene stealer here, because when you first see her appear in frame, you don't necessarily know what to think of her. You don't really know what Rian Johnson has up his sleeve with this actress. But as you find out more about her, as you discover why she's at this party, this is just really compelling stuff. Which, again, in true Rian Johnson form, really flips the script of a whodunit on its head. And that's why I really loved that first Knives Out movie so much. Which, let me just address it real quick. I feel like it's going to come down to personal taste, whether or not you prefer the original or Glass Onion. I feel like for my personal taste, I'm leaning towards the original Knives Out a lot more, and let me tell you why. Not that you don't feel the stakes in Glass Onion at all, but I feel like there was more urgency with the first movie. Not just in the filmmaking and Rian Johnson trying to prove that he can make a film like this as effective as it was, but I feel like the stakes for the character in the first Knives Out were a little bit higher. Not to say that Glass Onion doesn't have any stakes at all, of course not. I was really riveted with this mystery, and I was really interested to see where it was going to go. But I just didn't feel like the situation had as much levity as an outsider coming in the original Knives Out and just pretty much being willed an entire fortune that a family feels like should belong to them. Whereas Glass Onion is pretty much just centered around a group of friends, and there's no will attached to this. I feel like there's a lot more personal feuds that Rian Johnson can tinker with with this cast of characters. Again, it's all gonna come down to personal taste though. But despite the fact that I prefer the original Knives Out movie over Glass Onion, this is still a damn good time. And if Rian Johnson wants to keep making these, if he wants to keep introducing new zany characters into this world, and if Daniel Craig wants to keep coming back and playing this character, I certainly would not be opposed to that, my friends. Glass Onion is another excellent entry into this genre, and I highly recommend you guys check it out on Netflix over the holiday weekend. I'm gonna give Glass Onion an A. Rian Johnson continuing to prove the haters wrong. But guys, let me know what you thought of Glass Onion down in the comments section below. Do you guys prefer this movie over the original Knives Out? And let me know who your favorite character is, aside from Benoit Blanc. There's a lot of really interesting topics that we can discuss with these Knives Out movies. And just in regards to all new things in cinema in general, this is the channel to be at if you want to talk about all those. If you want to keep up to date with me, do consider becoming a subscriber and hit that notification bell, because trust me, going into 2023, you are not going to want to miss another second of the action. Do me a favor and smash that like button as well. This is really, really helpful in getting this content out there to more lovely viewers like you. And stay tuned for more exciting videos hitting my channel very, very soon. Thank you all so very much again for continuing to support this channel. It really, really, really does mean the world. And with all that being said, back talk, commence!